Merry Christmas! I hope everybody has had a warm holiday full of love and joy and inner peace and tranquility and treats and hope. I am exhausted. It has been a fun couple of days. I'm ready to sort of get into Capricorn season mode and get into like envisioning the year to come and getting organized and getting excited about just like, I don't know, new fresh cycles coming in and just, I don't know, getting back into routine or just tightening up routine or whatever it is. I'm craving that. Like all the I really indulged all holiday. It was great and I didn't gain any weight. It's a miracle. But I'm just ready for like clean living again, you know? So hopefully we will all be able to rein it in and not do too much damage. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm excited. We're here for our weekly energy forecast using the Oracle of Oddities. And I'm wondering what is to become of our week ahead. I actually need to go back and watch the Capricorn New Moon workshop. It was like everything was going so fast all week. I was practically just out of body when I was doing the thing. And then it was like cut into 2 segments because I had to like stop and go to work and then come back and finish. And so I have no idea what the reading was. I can't remember any of it, but it's I don't know, I'm looking forward to like ritualing for the rest of the night. Like you can tell how I'm just like burnt to a crisp. I can't stay focused. But it is night 8 of Hanukkah. That's another thing. I've been trying to like ritual for Hanukkah every night and like say the prayers out loud, like reading them all the way through so that I can actually say the Hebrew words. Because when I just do the stream, like I try to sing along, but they go really fast and like everybody that sings has like a different pace and a different melody and everybody else is just kind of mumbling in the background. So it's just really hard. So I try, but I don't feel like it's really official. So it's like almost like I've had to do the whole ritual like twice because I do it through myself so I can read everything. And then I do the easy one that like when they do it, it only takes like 15 minutes. But when I do it, it takes a while. So I'm just so tired. But I'm full of light. So full of light. Oh my goodness. Okay, what do we need to know for the week ahead? What do we need to know as we round out the year? How is our energy and focus and our awareness best served for this week? What do we need to take advantage of? What do we need to be aware of? What do we need to avoid or be cautious about, if anything? Is this just a good, tranquil week ahead for joy and just chill and like focus on, what's to come, I hope. Ooh, heart healing and a hatha. So opening that heart chakra, which is great because as you are celebrating the year that you've just lived through, don't glaze over that. Take time to really think about all that you've accomplished this year, all that you've come through, all that you have grown through. But also, as you're doing that, like you're also checking in to see what is next for this coming year. How do I want to grow upon what I've started? I really think that 2023 is going to be all about, like 2022 is like clear the ground, like gather materials, make plans, do the research, try to get everything like set up, like the infrastructure or like even just set up to create an infrastructure for something. It was like plowing the ground, right? And I feel like 2023, that's why I didn't feel like we got the results that we wanted through 2022. Because when you're putting in a garden, you don't really get any tangible results like from the plowing of the ground, the clearing, the cleaning, the process of like preparing. Even if you do get to put some seeds in, maybe that first year isn't like all that fantastic, right? But this year, everything's all set. We did so much of the transformation and so much of the heavy lifting during 2022 that 2023 is like, okay, we've gathered the materials here. Now we can start laying the foundation has been laid and it's set. Now it's setting, right? In this little period of time. And as this foundation sets, as we, like Capricorn is helping us set that new foundation, right? We've been going through this year and figuring out what are the routines, the practices, the structures, the insights, the ways that we need to transform and change that are going to set us up for the new cycle, the new life, the better, or not the better, but just like the next level version of ourselves, the next level of our own evolution. Like how are we going to make changes to support this? And I think that this past year, it's like we've been figuring all that out and like slowly moving the pieces into place and getting all of those things set up. So that in 2023, it's like that's where the framework goes up. That's where we start building upon the foundations that we have laid. That looks like implementation. It looks like, okay, now that I've figured out how I have laid out my business, I can now launch. Or I have launched and I've had, that whole like work in progress kind of year, ironing out the kinks, and now I can double down and like start like pushing and marketing. You know what I mean? It's like the next step. It's like an expansion upon what we've done already. If you were going through a lot of healing this year, you might feel a little bit more like coming out of your shell. Like, I know for me personally, it was a huge transition year coming out of a relationship, like changing careers or just leaving one behind and trying to like start a new thing, and then putting so much into like this channel and all of those things. It was a huge year for all of those big changes. And so it took so much energy, but it didn't feel like I was enjoying the living and the being in that life that I was setting up for myself yet. Does that make sense? So now this year, it's like now that I've adjusted to things being different, the experience can bloom and blossom and grow from there. I hope you can kind of relate that to your situation, maybe. If you're getting over a long, arduous breakup, right? And it's like, oh, I'm finally on the other side of it. And you're thinking like, oh, maybe I can start dating again, like stuff like that. It's like that whole year, it was just like being in the crucible. And now it's like there's something that we can shape from it, if that makes sense. So the heart chakra is opening. And as we envision like what we want to how we want to expand and how we want to build in this year ahead, it's like we really want to tune into our heart when we do that and tap into like all the excitement. We want to get that excitement going. We want to like dig into that passion for what we're doing. And if we don't have passion for what we're doing, then it's like reevaluate why you're doing it. Are you still connected with that why? Is this something you should still be pursuing or whatever? But yeah, really make your create from the heart, make decisions from the heart, make your choices from the heart, right? The things that fill you up with life, with love, with joy, with excitement, with make you feel expanded and hopeful and excited. Like keep following that. Follow your bliss, right? Follow what's in alignment. This is the Psyche card. So find out what's true in your heart of hearts, and then get into alignment with that heart, soul, mind, and strength. And start putting it into action. Really get a hold of the thoughts that you are cultivating up in your mind. If you find yourself like catastrophizing or going down a shadowy road that will lead you into the spirals of like depression and despair or anger, or, picking things apart or being overly critical about whatever, instead of just being like content and striving, like stop yourself from those patterns. because you need to cultivate in your imagination the reality that you want to create. We need to take part in our inheritance by using our free will. And the only way that we can do that is when life presents. We can't control what is presenting, right? All we can do is control how we then respond thereafter, right? If we're reactive, if we're like on survival mode, if we're just using our animal instincts, we're not using our like divine, God-given free will and consciousness. So you want to choose to fill your mind with the reality that you want to create. You want to get have your heart and your soul behind it. And you want to tap into what is in that soul. Where is your like soul yearning calling you to, right? Set your heart to that. Set your mind over matter. Set your intention. Get everything like in integrity and consistent and clear. And try not to wobble back and forth. But be very clear about your intentions and your purpose, right? And it doesn't mean that your plan can't change and like tweak, because you want to be adaptable, you want to be flexible. But you want to be really clear about your big vision in a specific way. Like to say like, well, I just want to make the world a better place. Like, and I want to get out there and bring more light into the world. That's too general, right? You want to be really specific so that you can figure out, okay, while you're making these plans, and while you're figuring out like, okay, what do I want my year to look like? Okay, cool. Is this going to give me the results of my vision? Because you need to align your actions and your like the people around you and the things that you do. You know, it all needs to start gelling, right? So be on your game about like playing with the alignment, like make it a game, pay attention, because it's a discipline. It's something we have to like stay on all the time, but instead of making it like a hardship, like just make it fun, right? And the more in alignment you are, the more magical things that the universe delivers. You get into this flow where everything just starts working out and falling into place, and everybody else is like, hey, why is everything like that for them, right? It could be you too. It's about vibrational alignment, and that comes with you being in alignment on the inside, right? Everything is in integrity. You're not like, you don't have conflicting desires. Remember, I do remember that part of the new moon workshop, that the conflicting desires were a big thing. Eureka. Okay, so drop into the heart space and figure out, okay, what were those subconscious beliefs, the emotional baggage from the past that was holding us back, the lack of confidence, things like that were getting in the way. There were hidden conflicting desires, and there was something else. Now it's all coming back to me. So that, it's like, okay, this week, go back and watch the workshop again, and I'm going to do it too. But remember the straightforward oracle Celtic cross. Remember, it's going to tell you, it's going to point out that there's emotional issues, and that it has to do with interconflicting desires, and there were also limiting beliefs involved in that, and it had to do with healing family issues as well. So just pay attention to that stuff as it comes up this week, and then readjust. All right, choose a better thought, choose a different way to feel about something. Start interrupting the old destructive patterns so that you can put into place the pattern that you want, right? That you want to create from. Okay. All right. What else do we need to know for this week? What's going to help us? What is going to help us get to the root, for one thing, and get our vision started? Ooh, security. Okay, awesome. The more we tap into the heart and create from the heart and create our reality from the heart and in alignment, then the more secure things are going to be, because when something is in resonance, it vibrates together and it causes harmony. But as soon as things are out of alignment, everything is in dissonance, and it's not harmonious. And so you begin to feel insecure because you start feeling anxiety. Then you start questioning yourself, and then you start feeling, not only do you feel kind of like generally threatened and vulnerable, but then you start feeling personally insecure. And then all of that starts actually like interrupting your outer security as well. So as you strengthen, as you meditate, as you drop into that heart space, as you strengthen that practice, that spiritual practice, and the more in alignment that you are, the more secure you will become. And I just feel like more security is coming in all forms, emotional, physical, everything. The Capricorn New Moon is going to certainly help you get to the root of anything where you're lacking discipline that is interrupting interrupting your flow of material comfort and abundance. So you're going to be able to figure out like how to kind of tighten up or adjust, adjust your, like, become more disciplined and more focused and more intentional, and basically just better at like being productive, like getting better results, being more fruitful, I guess that would be a good way to put it. It's like you're going to be more efficient, proficient. It's like you have the Midas touch, like you're more profitable at things. Like Capricorn people are just really industrious. They're very good at like having a vision, making a plan, and then executing it, and then having it manifest like physically and materially, just like go off, right? So because they're the most matured, mastered of the earth signs, right? Earth, the magician, like the magic, it's all about bringing the non-physical into the physical, right? Making your manifestation come from, taking nothing and bringing something forth, right? So I think that the more we overcome our lack of discipline, and the more we overcome our self-defeating tendencies that are taking us off track, that are getting us distracted from our goals, distracted from the things that we really want, that we really want to create from ourselves, get back on track, right? The security will come through. Because, we get the shadow side of Capricorn, or like overcoming a weakness in Capricorn, allows for the blessing of Capricorn. So I think it ties into all of these bad behaviors or bad habits or practices that are getting in the way of your productivity. It's like they're keeping you out of alignment. So get those things in alignment, and everything will start becoming more secure, and there will be more abundance. Life. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I don't know if anybody's not want to get pregnant right now. Y'all better be careful, because I'm seeing life. I'm seeing pelvic areas here. I'm seeing like children in the womb. So practice safe sex if you're not trying to have a baby. If you are trying to have a baby, then good. Maybe over the next 2 weeks, you're going to be real fertile. Yes, we are creating a new life. And we want to make sure that like this is a really super powerful time, like using the Capricorn New Moon waxing energy, like leading up into this next 2023. Like don't wait till 2023. Start now. Start 2023 living and acting now, and really start embodying that life that's within your heart, that life that you want to create. It's coming through. It's being born. You are birthing this life that you've been dreaming up, but you've got to get in alignment with that life. You've got to start like following up on your ideas. You've got to start setting your plans out, and you've got to start like doing really consistent things. Even if you're not like, don't overwhelm yourself with thinking that you have to do everything perfectly and all at once. Just give yourself little attainable goals, little things that you can hit consistently. But that will set you up to grow. And that's a Capricorn thing too. It's like taking little, methodical, planned out, precise, intentional, slow, steady careful, intentional. But it's a guaranteed, it's so grounded, it's guaranteed bit by bit by bit to eventually incrementally get you to the life you want. So just be consistent. Be unstoppable. One little goat step at a time. Nobody can stop me. I can always take one more step. Just one more step. Take it. One more step. Oh, one more. Building the life that we want. It's here. It's here now for the taking. I'm excited. We're birthing our new life, people. Start living in it. All right, I have a surprise. I wanted to read The Night Before Christmas last night, and I wanted to make a cool video of like the book and make it pretty. And maybe I'll do that next year. But I want to read it out loud. I wanted to read it to the fam last night, but we ended up, after gumbo, we had, oh my gosh, my sister made gumbo with all the seafood and the sausage and everything. It was amazing. Mindy stirred the roux. It was not like a jarred powdered roux. They did real roux. It was freaking amazing. It was like mouth-watering, delectable. But after that, we ended up playing games, and we did not read The Night Before Christmas. But I think that my family might have appreciated if we had have read The Night Before Christmas, because we played this game that was like something about memeing, and you put a photo up, and then you have all these cards. It's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but then you have to choose like what would make the best meme for the photo, and they're all horribly inappropriate. And like half of my family is like all inappropriate, and we're all laughing so hard. The other half is very like, we shouldn't be saying these things. And then like the my younger nephew was there. He's like 11, so he's like right at that age where like he doesn't quite get what's going on, but he knows that he should, and so then he's just like, he feels awkward and left out. But then we're like, this he can't know what's going on. And then my teenage nephew was there, so he kind of knew what was going on, and so the parents were there, and everybody's so comfortable, and I was like, this is awesome. But yes, we played an appropriate game instead of The Night Before Christmas. So I want to read it now. All right, even though it's not the night before Christmas and it's just the night after Christmas. And this is literally my little book. It's like a children's book from, I just saw this inscription when I pulled it out of my trunk a little while ago. 1985. It was one of those like little random house picture books. Okay. And it's illustrated. The Night Before Christmas. I love the illustrations. Drawings. Like you know what an illustration is, but I didn't think you did not. Okay. Here we go. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas would soon be there. Cute. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. Here they are, their little room. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn there arose such a clatter. What's going on? I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. Oh, Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away all. Oh, did you guys see that last photo? The picture? It's not a photo. It's like when everybody calls everything a selfie. But sometimes it's just a picture of you. Okay. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an object, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head, as I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur, from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. A peddler. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was up like a bow, and his beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and he smoked it, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me know that I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled the stockings, and then turned with a jerk. But it was like, and then turned with a twerk. And laying his finger aside on his nose, he gave a little nod, and up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team he gave whistle, and away they flew like the down of a thistle, because I'm a cockney. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.